Ukrainian military has increased drone strikes against facilities in Russia that support Kremlin leader Vladimir Putin's war effort, including airports, military installations, ammunition depots, warehouses, oil hubs, and refineries. These attacks have been a form of self-defense, with the Ukrainian side claiming they are counterattacking for its national defense. Recently, a critical attack on an oil refinery in Ufa, the largest city and capital of the Russian province of Bashar-Waterstone, took place 1,400 kilometers from Ukraine. The main target of the Ukrainian drones was one of Russia's largest oil refineries, with 10% of Russia's refinery capacity already offline. The attacked refinery is of strategic importance for Russia, as it is part of a group of companies that supply fuel to the armed forces. The refinery operates as part of the Neft oil refinery complex, which processes 23.5 million tons of oil per year. Over the past 4 months, Ukraine has launched at least 66 successful attacks on strategic targets inside Russia, dealing a major blow to Vladimir Putin. The attacks on refineries have had a profound impact on gasoline prices within Russia, causing concern among drivers and consumers. Despite international sanctions on Russia's oil resources, its oil revenues continue to provide a strategic economic advantage. Ukraine's ongoing drone strikes threaten this revenue stream for Russia, directly impacting gasoline supply and prices in Russia's domestic market, putting pressure on the Russian economy and the consumer in general. The 2 APS refinery, with roots dating back to the 1920s, has undergone numerous modernizations and expansions to reach its current capacity. Its proximity to the port of UPS, one of the largest ports on Russia's Black Sea coast, allows for efficient loading of oil tankers, which can then access critical shipping lanes. The Suez Canal is a crucial sea route for longer-distance trade ships, which increases the importance of Russia's energy export strategy. The 2 APS refinery is crucial to Russia's economy, as it plays a vital role in Rosneft's operations. However, Ukraine's aggressive policy has led to 4 major Russian oil refineries suspending their operations. The main refinery, operated by Rosneft, was attacked by a Ukrainian drone, causing a fire. The refinery in Samara, located 700 kilometers from the Russian-Ukrainian border, processed 8.9 million tons of oil per year. Ukrainians also targeted the Saratov oil refinery, processing over 7 million tons of oil a year. In late January, Russia's Riaz and oil refinery also halted operations after being subjected to Ukrainian drone strikes. The Ryazan refinery processed 5% of Russia's total refining capacity in 2024, producing 2.2 million tons of gasoline, 3.4 million tons of diesel, 4.3 million tons of fuel oil, and 1 million tons of jet fuel. The relentless pace of Ukrainian attacks has reduced Russian oil production by more than 5%, complicating repair efforts and draining resources. Russian companies need to increase oil production and exports. The Russian economy posted a modest 1.2% decline in 2022 and 3.6% growth in 2023, with growth forecast at 3.9% in 2024. The Kremlin and profit-seeking businessmen and politicians argue that sanctions have failed to harm the Russian economy, while blocking Western trade, and should be abandoned. Ukrainian politicians and staunch supporters of the current sanctions regime argue that Russian data cannot be trusted and that the impact of sanctions is far more important, that Russia's economic boom is fueled by the country's mortgaged future, and its overheated and unstable war economy could grind to a halt, as it has in other belligerent countries. Previous sanctions have failed to prevent Putin from starting the war he wants. The U.S. and its allies imposed sanctions in 2014 to prevent Russia from annexing Crimea and a separatist insurgency in the Donbass. However, these sanctions escalated into economic warfare in 2022, aiming to cause long-lasting damage. increase war costs, slow post-war rearmament, and become a bargaining chip in future negotiations. The current sanctions can still serve these purposes with adjustments that build on the sources of Russia's seemingly paradoxically resilient economic growth. Russia entered a state of economic warfare consisting of government spending spree, investing in friendly countries in trade and production autonomy, and so-called import substitution. In hindsight, these steps spurred growth as they did for many countries at war. However, the collapse in imports and the rise in global oil prices, combined with capital controls and higher rates, pulled the ruble back to pre-war levels. The Russian government adjusted its fiscal policy, allowing it to increase spending and ease restrictions on imports. Point 3 main drivers of Russia's economic growth are the domestication of Western-owned businesses, a state-sponsored boom in consumption and investment, and a locking in of capital following the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Overburdened domestic demand increases taxes paid into state coffers and keeps the dividend inside the country. The Ukrainian war is affecting everything from the Russian economy to its demographics as the country drifts towards stalemate. Vladimir Putin's insistence on continuing the war is plunging Russia's future into darkness.